We're heading from New Zealand to Australia, 1,200 miles, 2,000 kilometers, half the distance of an Atlantic crossing. Everything is sorted, supplies are on board, the customs appointment is booked. And then the latest weather report. An ex-cyclone will be blowing across the Tasman Sea, force 12 winds, 8-meter waves. After a week at sea, it would hit us head-on. It's a hot moment to tell yourself, no, we don't go now. And we'll wait maybe another 10 days. So you need to find something to do in these 10 days. This voyage will be a grueling battle against the westerly winds and its waves. And I, a hardened solo sailor, am in company. Will it work out, 2 men on 1 boat? Instead of the high seas, we are stuck on dry land. René has flown half a way around the world for this. His return flight leaves Australia in 6 weeks. The clock is ticking. We cross Cook Strait. It separates New Zealand's North and South Island. We end up in the Marlborough Sounds, a fjord landscape. French pass.
10. That's peeved.
A narrow strait between 2 islands. Here, the ebb and flow of the tide rush through at tremendous speed. Cool, huh?
Cool. Mit dem Fluss.
I want to see the old Windows 10 screensaver. We hire a car and drive to the northernmost corner of the South Island, to Warariki Beach. We go for a hike. We hoist the mizzen sail. We drop anchor. Watch birds. See one battle after another. Are invited to dinner by a lovely family in Nelson. But really, we just want to get going. A halo around the sun shows the remnants of the cyclone. Once it had passed, René has 26 days left. It's going to be tight, especially if we run into calms or storms. One last selfie for our loved ones. We won't have any internet reception at sea. And then cast off in Nelson. The oil crisis has reached New Zealand. Luckily, our tank is quite full. Otherwise, the crossing would already be over here. René would like to land in Sydney and visit a friend. I reckon it will take 17 days, if all goes well. We've also heard of a new cyclone in the north, but probably it'll drift off to the east. We have started with an upwind course, which is always the hardest option. And René now disappeared in his cabin for obvious reasons. Poor guy. Now the course has changed a little bit. The wind had drifted. I think the course is more agreeable. But the waves are getting higher and higher. And it's lovely but chaotic on the open ocean. René is feeling better. The chemist sold him some useless anti-sickness tablets. Mine are better, but they make you drowsy. And then we really have a problem. The satellite phone can't load the weather report. Using the tablet, you log into a router's network. Its cable leads to the satellite phone, from there a cable to the antenna, from there to the Iridium satellite, and then to the predict wind server. The connection is disrupted somewhere. In the end, René uses the satellite phone just as a telephone. His friend in New Zealand tells us the weather forecast. We're confused. Then he sends it as a text message. That's helpful. The Cyclone has veered off towards New Zealand. Perfect. However, it turns out Sydney is out of question. There's a brutal headwind. We decide Brisbane shall be our new port of entry. A cold front is forecast. It's bringing a drop in temperature. Rain. And then calm. Do we have enough diesel for a calm? Could we still avoid another cyclone? We start the engine and chuck into the night. For the second time, a rivet has come loose on the holding of the wind generator. Thanks to the calm, I can climb the mast. And I realize sailing with two people is easier, especially when the other person is a handyman. We are halfway there. Wo ist der Champagner?
Ja, den habe ich vergessen. Den habe ich vergessen. Das tut mir wirklich leid. Ich habe eine Flasche Wein.
Okay.
Die können wir öffnen.
Okay. Wie war's denn bis jetzt?
It's more of a challenge here because it's a Tasman Sea. And obviously it's not like the longer crossings I've done in the Mediterranean. It's more of a challenge.
What is the challenge?
Well, certainly there's a lot of changing weather, upwind sailing, always swell and waves. A challenge to move and to cook, for example.
Where there are two men, one has to be better. We're battling. Though only in slow motion and on the chessboard. The wind isn't extremely strong, but it's coming from the front. There are 30 knots on the boat. It's upwind course, and that's the nastiest course you can get, because you are very slow, and there's this permanent movement of the boat that stumps into every wave that comes along. So the boat shakes in this direction, and you're prone to seasickness very quickly. On top of that, there are squalls, rain cells, where the wind briefly picks up, changes direction, and then dies down. We are crossing a lightning front where winds are coming from opposite directions. At some point we have enough of battling the wind. We hoist the Australian and Carotine flag and decide our port of entry will be Coffs Harbour, simply because it's the nearest harbour. We were lucky. We didn't experience a single gale. But sailing constantly against the wind is no walk in the park. The Tasman Sea always takes its toll. The journey took us exactly 17 days. Rennie still has time to visit his friend, and I fall into the bed, dead tired.